It is 4:47 on a Friday, and your boss has just offered you the promotion everyone is supposed to want. More money, bigger title, new city, and only one tiny condition. Your evenings, your weekends, and apparently your soul need to relocate too. He slides the offer across the desk. Behind him, Devin is already giving you the look. Take it. Smile. Buy the nicer car by Monday. Instead, you remove the blue access badge hanging from your neck and place it beside the offer. No, thank you. The room goes silent. Somewhere in the building, Microsoft Teams makes that little notification sound, like even the computer wants the gossip. Your boss leans forward. Can you afford to say no? 5 years earlier, absolutely not. Back then, the blue badge felt important. It opened the glass doors of a company where people said things like, circle back, without laughing. When your salary jumped to $62,000, you decided your entire life should look promoted. You rented an apartment with a rooftop fire pit nobody used. You financed a cream-colored couch that was terrified of food. You started ordering $12 salads to meetings because bringing leftovers suddenly felt like a confession. Devin understood. His raises never reached his bank account. They went directly to the dealership, where each one was converted into a slightly louder engine. On paper, you were succeeding. In your checking account, there was a small electrical fire. The couch had 31 payments left. Your credit card was charging close to 21%. That card was working harder than anyone in the office, and somehow it kept getting promoted. This is how looking successful keeps you broke. Every visible upgrade creates an invisible obligation. Then, the obligations make your paycheck non-negotiable. Your boss does not need to chain you to the desk. The apartment, the car, and the couch already brought their own chains. The person who finally made this obvious was Ms. Alvarez. You met her during a supplier visit at an industrial warehouse. She wore plain shoes, carried a canvas tote repaired with black thread, and was helping a worker move a damaged box when you arrived. You assumed she worked in shipping. She owned the company. Also, the warehouse. Also, the smaller warehouse next door, the one your company had been paying rent on for 11 years. At lunch, Devin spent 10 minutes describing the ambient lighting in his new car. Ms. Alvarez listened politely, then asked one question. When the payments end, what do you own? Devin said, the car. She said, wonderful. In 72 months, you may own a machine with 90,000 miles and cup holders that change color. You laughed. Devin did not. Then she gave you the closest thing she had to an old money rule. Buy things that keep paying you. Maintain things that still work, and never finance applause. That night, you inspected your life like it had been left unattended at airport security. The apartment provided a view. The couch provided anxiety. The wardrobe provided several nearly identical blue shirts. None of them provided control. So you began moving backward, at least from the street. You moved closer to work, sold the couch to a couple who arrived 20 minutes late and still negotiated $12 off the price. You paid down the card, built a cash buffer, and automated $450 a month into a diversified investment account. Devin saw the smaller apartment and asked if everything was okay. You said yes. He looked disappointed. He had clearly prepared emergency sympathy. The change was boring to watch, but powerful to calculate. At a hypothetical 7% annual return, $450 a month could grow to roughly $365,000 over 25 years, before fees, taxes, and inflation. No guarantee, just the difference between money being given time and money being given cup holders. The cheapest monthly payment can also be the most expensive distraction. Stretch a loan long enough, and almost anything looks affordable. The payment shrinks. The total interest grows. Future you gets the bill, which is convenient because future you is never in the dealership. For 18 months, your new system worked quietly. Then the market dropped. Your account lost more in 6 weeks than you had contributed in 6 months. You opened the app so often, your thumb could find it without you. Devin leaned over at lunch, saw the red number and whispered, your money has reverse. That same week, your car needed a repair. Perfect timing. The universe had apparently subscribed to the premium stress package, but the repair came from the cash buffer. You did not sell investments to pay it. You did not put it on the card. Your automatic contribution continued, Not because recovery was guaranteed, and not because panic disappeared. You had built separate money for separate jobs. When you called Ms. Alvarez, she refused to predict the market. She only asked, "Did you buy this for one bad month or for the next 20 years?" That was the real test. Looking wealthy is easiest when everything is rising. Thinking patiently matters when the screen turns red and somebody nearby has started saying, "I told you so." Years passed in small, unphotogenic victories. The card balance reached zero. The emergency fund stopped feeling like money and started feeling like armor. Raises went into assets before Devin could recommend a vehicle. Your lifestyle stayed almost frozen while your choices expanded. Then one Sunday, you calculated the number that changed the story. If every paycheck stopped tomorrow, your essential expenses were covered for roughly 18 months. It was not retirement money. It was decision money. When a family emergency arrived, you handled it without debt. When work scheduled another fake emergency for Saturday morning, you noticed something new. The badge around your neck felt less like proof that you belonged and more like a very small leash. Financial freedom rarely begins with a yacht. It begins when a bad job, a bad offer, or a bad month can no longer threaten you into obedience. Which brings us back to Friday at 4:47. Your boss is waiting. The promotion pays more, but the new city costs more. The hours are worse. The title is impressive. The life attached to it is not. Devin has already accepted a similar position. He is excited, and honestly, he should be. His life requires the raise. Yours no longer requires this one. Your boss looks at the badge on his desk. Can you afford to say no? 5 years ago, the answer lived in your next paycheck. Now it lives in the 18 months sitting quietly behind you. Yes. You do not storm out. There is no slow motion explosion. You simply decline, keep your current role while you choose the next move, and leave the office on time. The blue badge stays on the desk. 5 years ago, it made you feel successful because it opened the company's doors. Now you understand that the real goal was building a life where those doors could close without trapping you inside. That is what changed when you tried the old money mindset. You stopped buying evidence for strangers. You started buying time, patience, and the right to make your next decision without fear. So look at the payments leaving your account this month. Which one is buying something useful? And which one is quietly buying part of your freedom? If this story made you look at wealth differently, subscribe. There are more stories like this coming.